Today I want to talk to you from the title, It Costs Too Much to Quit. Did you know that hell rejoices when you say 2 words, 5 letters, I quit? 2 words, only 5 letters, but they carry so much weight. Because of them, destinies have been aborted and outcomes have been changed. These are the words the enemy whispers and encourages you to say when all hell is breaking loose and you're tired to the point of exhaustion. He says the way has been too hard, the price too steep. It's taken too great a toll on you. These 2 words can stop it all. Just say, I quit. He says, greater men than you have said it. There is no shame in these 2 words as long as they can stop your pain. Just say, I quit. Have you ever been tempted to quit? The fact that there is a temptation to quit speaks to the fact that you started something. You're moving towards something. People who never start anything are never tempted to quit because there is nothing to quit. The temptation to quit comes to you because you're doing something and you're facing obstacles that seem insurmountable. But the operative word is seem, because you will get through it. You know what? The truth is that obstacles are unavoidable and necessary. Unavoidable because life will see to it that they come, and necessary because they test your determination to reach your goal. After all, anything untested cannot be trusted. When you're tired, the enemy will often present quitting as a reasonable, viable option. He wants you to say, I'm not willing to go any further. I've reached the end of my rope, and I refuse to try and hold on any longer. I quit. I've gone as far as I can go on this job. I've gone as far as I'm willing to go in this relationship. I quit. The pursuit of the goal has taken such a toll until I quit. But how many of you know that quitting can be extremely costly? In John the 6th chapter, many of those who followed Jesus were challenged by his words because they heard spiritual words with carnal ears. So many of his disciples quit following him. With so many having quit, Jesus looked at the 12 and said, will you quit also? It was then that Peter asked one of the most insightful, far-reaching questions and proceeded to give an equally powerful explanation. The question was, if we quit, where shall we go? And then he proceeded to give his explanation as to why quitting was not an option. He says, you have the words of eternal life. We believe and we know that you are God, the Holy One of God. That's it in a nutshell, brothers and sisters. If you leave the Lord, where will you go? Just for a moment to think about those in John 6 who did quit. They followed Jesus up to a point, but when they were challenged by what they did not understand, they quit. How often does the temptation to quit when you are challenged by what you don't understand? Just for a moment, think about the cost of their quitting. Their loss cannot really be quantified because it was great beyond words. But here we see the relationship between quitting and loss. When you quit, you forfeit the promise. They had the privilege of walking with God, but they didn't value it, so they quit. They quit on God. What a sad commentary when it is said of you that you quit on God. I want to say to you, whatever you do, whatever you're going through, don't quit. You have fought too hard, sacrificed too much, and stood too long to quit now. You know, one of the biggest boxing matches of the 20th century took place November 25th, 1980 at the Superdome in New Orleans. It was a rematch between Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran. Duran won the first fight and was favored to win the second one. This man had a record of 72 wins and 1 loss. The rematch, though, was a close fight. Only 1 point or maybe 2 separated the 2 fighters. But then something unthinkable, unimaginable happened in the 8th round. Roberto Duran turned to the referee and spoke 2 words, 5 letters, no mas, which means no more. He quit. He wasn't injured. He wasn't cut. He was frustrated by Leonard's fighting style, and he had had enough, so he quit. Here's a fighter who was one of the best to ever step in the ring, He won a total of 103 fights, but when anyone mentions his name today, the first thing that comes to mind is no mas. People remember the day that he quit. You have been through a lot and you're tired. You feel that you have given all you have to give. Every day you've been hoping for a breakthrough, but day after day, nothing seems to change. But you know why you're tired? You're tired. You know why you want to quit, rather? Because you're tired. But when you're tired, you rest. You don't quit. When you're tired, you say things you shouldn't say, do things you shouldn't do. Elijah was tired and he spoke out of his weariness and he said, Lord, I've had enough. Take my life. He didn't mean that because Jezebel would have been happy to oblige him. You may be tired, but this is a time to rest